It takes a lot to gross me out. If we were living in the Marvel universe, I would have already been recruited by the X-Men because Charles Xavier would have identified me with Cerebro as a mutant with the superhuman inability to feel disgust. I was just born without that gene to get grossed out by something. Until today. I promise you, I could watch Two Girls, One Cup while eating chocolate ice cream first thing in the morning and not bat an eye. I wouldn't feel a thing. It would just be another casual viewing experience. But today, I found something that rattled me to my core, made my skin crawl. It is so icky. Amaranth announced a collaboration with a beer company to turn her vaginal yeast into a cold brewski for all to enjoy. I couldn't imagine drinking something more revolting. I'd rather drink sewage. I would rather lick a cockroach, a live, living cockroach, than take a sip of vaginal yeast brew. There is no one on the planet I would be enthusiastic about drinking the pussy beer from. Let's extend the net here. It doesn't even have to be vaginal yeast beverages. Any kind of like bodily fluid body part beer sounds awful. If Jesus Christ right now resurrected again and he said, "Please, my children, feast upon my ass juice beer," I'd be hesitant. I'd be like, "Hey, bud, I appreciate everything you've done, but I really don't want to be drinking fucking colon cell brew beer," right? Like, I'll drink your blood. I'll drink blood before that. Like, can we meet somewhere in the middle, a compromise? And when going through their website where they explain everything, I feel like I'm being indoctrinated into a cult, like I'm reading cult flyers or something. It's so odd and off-putting. They take an already revolting concept of using pap smear cervical cells to make a beer out of and make it even more disgusting by the way they talk about it. So the company is a horny Polish brewery called the Order of Yoni, according to this Kotaku article. And when you go visit their site, they kind of explain's the wrong word. They kind of go over the process and also the motivation behind it. They have this page here that looks like Star Wars opening text at the start of one of the movies. And it's a deep look into a deranged psyche behind the evil masterminds of this idea. Imagine an extremely sensual image of femininity, which has often appeared in the wildest of fantasies. You are fascinated by her captivating outward appearance, her passion, her coquettish movements. Admiration reaches its apogee, and the desire to satisfy the senses with its charm increases. This is the most pretentious dog shit I've ever read in my life. They absolutely just typed a prompt into ChatGPT to spit out something moderately profound, full of, like, buzzwords. Reach out for a bottle filled with a golden beverage replete with female essence. Give yourself up to your instincts and enjoy the intimacy of an extraordinary model. I don't know why they're calling it a golden beverage unless they're also bottling her piss for a beverage, which I'm assuming is right around the corner. You might be able to get like a combo pack here where you get vaginal yeast brewskis as well as a palate cleanser of piss champagne or something, perhaps. You deserve to stimulate your mind and enhance your taste sensations. If you buy this, you deserve to not have access to money anymore. This is a huge waste of money. Please, God, Lord help anyone who purchases this. The Order of Yoni is a sensual experience in the form of a beer enclosed in a bottle, obtaining its unusual flavor notes through the use of champagne yeast, wheat malts, and exclusive additives in the form of orange peel, coriander, and aphramomum. The composition is enhanced with the use of lactic acid from vaginal bacteria to bring pleasure to the senses. They talk about pussy beer as if it's some kind of like end-all be-all panacea, like this sacred nectar from the heavens, where you're going to take a sip of this and it's going to change your whole fucking life. It's going to make you taller and more attractive, and now you're appreciating the true femininity of the female form. When really, if you buy this, I don't think this brings you any closer to women. In fact, it probably pushes every woman away from you if they know that you are a buyer of vaginal yeast brews. That's the worst shit ever. That's like the biggest red flag. Now, I'll be open and honest here. I considered making edible assholes for like a tier list. I've talked about this idea before, where all my friends send in their butthole mold, so that way there's a company overseas that turns it into edible chocolate, and I was going to tier list all of my friends' asses. But that's a little different because it's just chocolate in the shape of what their brown balloon knot looks like. It's not actually using their poop shooter in order to make the chocolate. It just takes an impression of it and makes the chocolate look like that. So it's still like totally edible chocolate. It's very different than having turned her vaginal yeast into a beer itself. That is crossing a line. That is the point of no return. If you're buying this and like getting hard from it, like being so terminally horny that you consider this like a sensual experience, is so weird to me. Now, they do go over the process a little bit here, and it still feels like it's some kind of brainwashing procedure. We devote a lot of time to looking for a woman who has all the desired instincts, the goddess we want to put in a bottle. Oh my lord, making me want to vomit just with that statement right there. We discovered the process of transmitting female essence by isolating lactic acid bacteria from yoni of sensuous women. Paulina, brunette. Monica, blonde. Patricia, blonde. An essential part of this process is to ensure the safety of our product. During isolation, the material is tested for the absence of other bacteria and viruses. These procedures prevent other bacteria and viruses from surviving, thus allowing the growth of only lactobacillus bacteria. Once again, in terms of certainty and safety, a final test of the propagated lyophilized bacteria is carried out before the use and preparation of the material. Jesus Christ, I'm not a fucking pussy beer scientist. These words are throwing me for a loop. But basically, they're talking about how they're going to ensure you're not going to get sick from it. A gynecologist collects a vaginal smear from the models. These smears are taken to a laboratory where bacteria are isolated, cleaned, and analyzed and multiplied. At the end of the process, the bacteria are used to produce the pure lactic acid that goes into yoni beer. They also have an entire lore breakdown behind the company here, the whole story. Great goddess, the greatest among gods, feminine deity whose main reincarnations were Aphrodite, Venus, Ishtar, Makash, and Freya. Thousands of years ago, the great goddess's worshippers and priests in almost all cultures and civilization discovered her sacrament, her divine part lying hidden in the deity's yoni. Priestess of the goddess had found deities amongst women, took with respect the Saint Yoni lactobacillus, the divine sacrament, and combined it with water, malts, and yeast, creating the first sour ale. And then it goes on and on into this like wild and wacky history lesson. I don't know. I don't know enough about the origins and the genesis of the first sour vaginal beer to be able to comment on the authenticity of the story they tell here. But it is still creepy and weird regardless. This is like a really weird company. Now, Amaranth herself, the patient zero of vaginal beer deities, said that it's hilarious. People will buy the beer for sure. I don't know if they'll actually drink it. I mean, they'll probably drink it. They'll definitely drink it. I actually have more respect for the people that were buying Belle Delphine's bathwater as a collector's item than the people that are going to buy and consume vaginal yeast beer. That is just so yucky to even think about. The flavor notes on that must be incomprehensible. Like, you take one sip of it and your brain immediately goes smooth as the regret washes over your entire being. Like, it's just, it's so odd. She views it as a joke, which I understand. Like, if you're gonna do this as a joke, whatever. I mean, it's still a weird joke to make. But at least she's not saying that she thinks it's like a good, sensual idea to bring her fans closer to her, take all of her fans into her fucking womb, or whatever, to start feasting on her cervical cell beer. But yeah, like I said, it's no easy task to make me feel disgusted. But this pulled it off. Just imagining drinking that makes me a little nauseous. So I just wanted to talk about this. I have no doubt it's going to be a smashing success here for her and that company. I don't think she's the first one they're doing this with. On their website, they have the deities thing, where there's 3 women there, and I'm guessing they already made this product with those 3 women, and now Amaranth is just another one signing up for it. And I have no doubt her audience is going to buy all of it. I think it's going to fully sell out. They'll probably need to really have her go on to the gynecologist once a day to keep fucking scrubbing for the yeast they need. Well, actually, no, I don't think they need to do that, because according to their website, they can just keep fucking cloning the yeast she sends in. So this is like a one-and-done thing for her, and she's just going to be able to keep raking in profits every time they start firing up a new batch of vaginal beer. So, I guess a smart business move, maybe? I have no idea, but I do foresee this being a huge hit with her audience, which is very pathetic to say. Anyway, just had to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.